What's up, guys? Saturday morning. So we're doing this leany pine in this video, and because there's no sound in the drone footage, I'm just gonna talk. I don't particularly like talking in videos anymore, but I'm not really gonna be talking about the work. I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'll talk about some other stuff. This is gonna be like a status update type thing, I guess. And by the way, we did hit the fence. Well, hit it. Yeah, we hit it. We did not damage it. It was a controlled hit, but chances are you're going to be looking at the footage the entire time until I pop the top and think, oh, there's no way he didn't hit it. You're right. I did hit the fence. So did Mark. So did the tree. And we could have used a porter wrap for that part. Maybe for the rest, but still would have hit it. It would have been more of a controlled, well, maybe not. It would have been a controlled descent. And anyway, whatever. So yeah, we got this leany pine to do. We did it last Sunday, essentially on our day off, and everything went well. And like I said, even though we hit the fence, there wasn't any damage or anything like that. So anyway, yeah, stay tuned. You're gonna see that. And this is just kind of raw drone footage. I'm gonna put the GoPro footage up later. So first thing, I never finished explaining why our starter was fucked up in the Starter Chronicles video. So what had happened was the starter that we got installed at the garage, one of the two bolts holding it in on the flange came loose. So the starter was tilted at a downward angle. And then it was still installed, but because of this, there's a little protective cover that covers half of the Bendix drive, which is basically a little gear that grabs onto the bigger gear of your flywheel. And this little cover cracked off, and it actually got lodged between the Bendix drive and the flywheel, preventing us from being able to start the truck. And it worked when we tightened it. Like I said, we were able to start it once, but it died after. That's just because the carb wasn't pumped up enough, and it was like minus 20 outside. But yeah, we got it to start once after we tightened it, which was because a little chunk inside of broken cover moved out of the way just enough for the gears to grab each other. But when we tried to start it again, the little dislodged piece, it fucking spun around the wheel again, and it got blocked in the same fucking place. So we took that off, and when we ordered a new one, because in the video I showed you it starting twice, or trying to start twice, and it made different sounds, and the second time sounded like popcorn when there was smoke coming out of the hood and everything. So that time, it's because we ordered two new ones, because I knew I was going to fuck one of them up. So how I fucked the first one up was that it came in the package, and there was a cotter pin going the entire way through the starter. So I looked in the holes and I tried to figure out what it was doing. I couldn't see anything. I thought it was just there for packaging purposes, so I pulled it out. And what I actually inadvertently did was there's a little flap at the bottom that acts as a spring, and this cotter pin was holding that flap taut, and it was making it so that when you start it, the gears basically shoot forward so it can engage the flywheel. Well, it was preventing this from happening, and it wasn't pushing it forward enough. That's why it sounded like it was popping popcorn. So we took it out, we put the other one in. The other one worked fine, and we bought some new cotter pins because I wrecked the other one trying to put it back in, and with a bit of finagling, we managed to fix that. We got some new gear lately. I guess I'll start with the chipper. We got the chipper a little, well, I don't know, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. We got it in the winter because we had jobs in the winter and our dump site was closed. So since then, we pay $50 to dump every load, by the way, which I think is kind of expensive, but it's not the end of the world. But anyway, it kind of sucks because the place is 15 kilometers away. And even though it's quote unquote in my area, it's 15 kilometers away pretty much, or maybe 10. but it's there and back. So it's 20 or 30 extra kilometers, and you're fully loaded half the time at least, and it sucks. It sucks. It fucking adds up. It adds up doing it every day for a week. It fucking adds up. And they take the firewood that you pay to dump over there, and they sell it. And yeah, we went to court again for the second time because our landlord's trying to evict us. Because of that, because we used to take the firewood home and put it in the yard and like process it and stuff, but he didn't like that. So he took us to court and he tried to evict us, but we won. But we're going again on Tuesday for something else in the apartment because he told the judge that we moved all the equipment from the backyard and we hid it inside the apartment. So he thinks that we have like horses and buggies hidden in here. So we had to come take some pictures, and he's going to show them to the judge, and we have to go back to court. The judge is going to say you are or you are not allowed to have those in the house. Because he told them that we had all this crazy industrial equipment in the house, and we don't. We have 4 chainsaws, or 5. Just on the floor. So anyway, I digress. The chipper is to minimize all the space that all the garbage takes from jobs. Do you need one to start off with? No. Absolutely not. It's going to be a hindrance. That's another thing too. I want to talk maybe in a later video about starting off in the stuff that you need and you don't need. And there's a big misconception. Well, it's because people are stupid. But people say you need all sorts of stuff to start off. And you need all sorts of vehicles that basically you can't have. You can't even park them. Let alone drive them. Let alone operate them. But, the common narrative is that if you don't have a bucket truck, a dump truck, a $100,000 chipper, a stump grinder, a logging truck, it's like don't even quit your day job because you'll never be an arborist. Like, I've seen videos about this too. It's such fucking garbage. One guy, some old fuck, he doesn't climb, he doesn't do nothing, fuck, he doesn't even fucking fell trees or anything. He's a fucking has-been, irrelevant, fucking nobody. And he's like, oh, if you don't have a logging truck, like you're just spinning your wheels. And like he has a crane and everything, and like he's bragging that he charges $900 an hour, and this seems like a lot of money. It's not. Dude, you can charge fucking, and he has a crew of 10. It's not even a lot, So honestly, you can charge $350 an hour easy, like by yourself. And if you have a fucking skilled employee or partner, then you can charge more. Like, I'm not going to tell you guys what we charge, not in this video, but we charge a pretty Christian rate. And, it varies too. Like, we have a rate for kind of returning customers, and then we have a rate for new customers. And we have the rate for assholes, then we have the blowjob rate, which is, if an attractive female customer is giving you blowjobs endlessly, how much are you going to charge them? And I won't tell you guys the different rates, but I'll give you a little hint. It's all the same rate. The blowjob rate is the same as the asshole rate. It's the same as the returning customer rate. It's the same as the standard rate. So yeah, they only think they're getting a deal. Let them think that. Good, great. 'Cause that's all people want. So anyway, yeah, there's this big misconception that you need tons of gear to do this business, and you don't. Far from it. That stuff also, that comes at the very end. And it's garbage pickup. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. It's garbage pickup. It's to pick up the fucking garbage. And if you're smart, you can leave the garbage to the garbage man. It's only if you have a demand to pick up the garbage and you literally can't refuse it because people are waving their money at you and you can charge them whatever price that you want. That's when you can start getting all that other stuff. And when you're starting out, you have no money. Otherwise, you're not starting out. And if you think you're going to start out like while things are good, your business is never going to succeed because the passion isn't there. And as soon as something slightly profitable comes up, you're going to abandon everything for that. Or as soon as things get a little bit hairy, like you're going to abandon ship because why wouldn't you? Like, this is like a flakypreneur. This is bad. Like you're never going to get anywhere like in your new business like this. This is like the trust fund baby. Contrary to popular belief, like these guys make terrible fucking entrepreneurs. The best way to start is from nothing. And everybody starts from nothing. If you're not starting from nothing, then you're not starting. And we started from nothing. Like this is our 5th year. Like go back fucking 5 years in our channel with a Poulan chainsaw that I didn't even know how to fucking hold. And yeah, and And that's not even the first time I used a saw. The first time I used a saw, I don't know, it was probably in my early 20s. My dad showed me, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, nobody does when they start out, fuck. That's the whole point. It's just like skateboarding. You suck when you start. You don't start off good. And that's the whole, like, beauty of the journey. And this fucking branch out there it goes. Okay, so, yeah, so, there's a couple of reasons why people talk like this, that you need all this shit. Because the first one is a big excuse, which justifies, like, why they haven't done it. And because they make it seem impossible, and they make it seem impossible for something that's out of their control, i.e., like, it comes down to equipment, it's not lack of skill. And that's the second reason too, which is like the underlying cause. It's lack of skill. If your skill is there, then you have no need to fucking pine for equipment that you don't have and say, oh, it's because of this that I can't do the job. I can't land this trick because I need a better skateboard. Like, unless your skateboard's fucking cracked in half, like, pretty much land any trick on any fucking board. Like, that's it. Like, tree work is no different. Any other type of work is no different. Like, blame the fucking paintbrush as much as you want. Like, if the artist can draw, he can draw. That's all there is to it, guys. So, yeah, starting out, you really don't need much. Like, we started out with a $3 saw from the dollar store. And, you can go out very easily, very often, with that $3 saw and work a couple of hours and make $500, $1,000. The sky is the limit, and you don't have to use any gas or turn on a chainsaw or do anything like that, or even take any wood away. So, yeah, the people that are saying that, you need a chipper and you need this and that, like, they're stupid because you don't. And, like, the jobs that we do, ideally, they're low volume, but high degree of difficulty. And, these are the jobs that, like, not necessarily this one. This one's a kind of pain in the ass, but it's fine. It was routine. But yeah, these are the jobs that other people don't want to do. The jobs near power lines, swimming pools, over houses, in tight spots, on streets with no parking, because the big bloated companies with way too much overhead and way too much equipment can't get in there. So with our setup, our minimalist setup, we can get anywhere. Like right now we have two vehicles. We have a pickup truck and a trailer, or just a pickup truck, depending on what the job is. And then we've got Uncle Joe, our dually dumper, with a chipper behind it. And it's a small chipper. It's still for commercial use, though. But, it's the smallest Vermeer that they make, so for 6-inch branches. And it's narrower than the truck, so it's a pain in the ass to back up because you can't see where you're going. There's another thing to factor also. With all this big equipment, like, you're not just, it's one thing to do an estimate and drive by in a car or even in a pickup truck, but once you've driven the bigger vehicles, you have to worry about parking it. And not just on your own street, not just in the winter, not just overnight, but you have to worry about parking it on the job site. Is there room to park it in the customer's driveway? Is it easy to get into their driveway? Like, are their cars going to be moved? How busy is the street? Are you going to have to, even if you tell them to move their car, a lot of the time they don't. Like, they leave it in the driveway and they wait for you to show up and then they have to move it. But where are you going to park in the meantime? A lot of the time you can't double park because you'll be blocking the entire road. So all this stuff, it fucking matters. And before you show up bringing the entire fucking Army and Navy and Air Force to a job site, like, you have to figure this stuff out. So that's where the minimalist setup, really comes in handy. And again, people that talk differently, it just reinforces the fact, to me anyway, that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they have not gone up through the ranks. They either started off like working for some giant company, so they don't know the value of any of the stuff that the company uses. Or again, they recently started their company and they did it all on credit. Because, like I said, you can't start off with all this stuff. Like, it's like starting off with 50 chainsaws. Like, you have no need for it. Also, you have no money for it. You start off with a $3 saw, which is what you can afford. And you do as much as you can with that $3 saw until the market demands that you get a stronger saw. And it sounds stupid, but, people aren't willing to go through this. They think it's stupid, or they think that they're smarter, so they'll start better. And it's like, nope, you don't understand how to hustle, so you will never fucking hustle. Like it's fine to want to hit the ground running. It's cool, but you do that by again working the shit out of your $3 saw. Not showing up with big fucking shit. People ask a lot too, which is a fair question, but sometimes it's meant to condescend, but they ask why we don't use a chainsaw more. I mean, we do when it's fucking called for. But on tricky trees in extremely closed quarters, where you can't even move your arms or your head or fucking anything, or you can't change the way you're standing because the tree's leaning too much, you want to minimize the use of the saw. Also, that carpal tunnel syndrome is real, guys. Any climber fucking knows. Anyone that works with chainsaws knows. Anyone that works with their hands should know what it's like. That fucking numbness you feel at night. That's because of that. So how many times do you want to repeat manipulating a 5 or possibly 10-pound or more object that's attached to the back of your harness? Do you need two hands to operate over and over and over and over and over again? Or you could just grab a 200, 300 gram saw that literally weighs nothing. So like I said, there's a time and place for every fucking tool. And don't try to use the bigger tools to do tiny things, and don't try to use the tiny tools to do big things. And yeah, okay, I had the pickup truck already. I had my truck for 10 years now. And so I had my $3 saw, and I bought a tarp from a dollar store for $1. And that's what I used to bring the branches. And I told the customers that I couldn't take the branches away because I wasn't equipped yet. And not even that I planned to, or that I want to get a bigger truck. No, I can't take the branches away. I can do the job, but I'm just not equipped to take the branches away. And I'll charge you a better price, because it doesn't include takeaway. So they either have to use the branches or they have to put them out for the city. But if they put them out for the city, they can't say that a professional did it. So that's a deal. But in honor of that deal, you charge them a little bit of a lower price. You can reduce the price by a quarter. Because, taking the branches away is a lot of work. And not just on the job site. It's a lot of work that, the customer doesn't see. And no matter what you do with them, even if you take them home and burn them or use them as firewood, still, they don't know that. So charge for all your time. So that's what I used to do. And then the tarp became a wheelbarrow. And then another wheelbarrow, and then I bought a couple of rakes. And, it'd fit, here we go, there goes Mark, right into the fence. It's okay, though. Yeah, so we buy a couple of rakes. And yeah, I know, you're thinking, well, bucket truck. No, well, this is the shit that you need. You need the stuff to do the basics before, again, you can take away massive loads of garbage. So, we bought a couple of rakes, and then a shovel, and then a shop brush. A backpack blower. No, backpack blower came later. Then you have to find a way to fit all this in your truck. And you definitely can't take away any of the wood because your truck is full of tools. And, at this point, you're making a little bit of money and you can start thinking about either getting another type of vehicle or a trailer. So we opted for the trailer, and then you put your tools in the trailer. And, at first they're just lying around in there because it's not modded or anything or customized to the way you work. But, after you do more jobs, you realize what should go where. And then, you start making stuff for your trailer, like brackets to hold the fucking tools and shit. And you can start taking away a little bit of wood, a little bit of branches. And, naturally you're going to overdo it, at first. And you're going to be gung-ho and you're going to be like, oh, I can take away anything now. And you're going to overload the shit out of your trailer. And you're going to charge way too little. But, that happens once in a while. As long as it doesn't happen all the time, it's okay. And you're going to break stuff. Probably you're going to break shackles. So if you can afford it, buy a dual axle trailer. That's what we did. And we wouldn't have been able to survive with a single axle one. It's just not strong enough. So we bought our trailer and we started taking wood away slowly and taking it home to process into firewood. And as for branches, well, what we did our first year, we brought all the branches home and put them by the side of the road at our house for the city to take. And then to fool them, we trimmed some trees in our backyard and put the branches on top of the ones from customers so that we could say, hey, look, these are actually all of ours. And we cut them on our own tree. So you have to take them away. And the pile was really tall and really long. So we jumped on it a bunch of times and we cut it up to make it smaller. And we put more on top of it and more and more and more. And I don't know, it was about 5 feet tall and like 100 feet long. And the city came by one day and told us that they weren't going to do it. And they gave us a time limit to get rid of it. And they sent a letter to the landlord, and the fire department came. And they basically told us that we had to get rid of it ourselves. So we tried bringing it to the local dump, again with the city's permission. And they let us bring one load. And then he asked us how many more loads we had. I said, I don't know, like 10, 20. And he said I couldn't bring it anymore because the city workers, when they found out that it belonged to a tree business, they wouldn't be happy. It's like, fuck these guys. These guys can all fucking drop dead for all I fucking care. I'm not going to get into that, but you know my thoughts on fucking city workers or government in general. I think none of it should fucking exist. And I think that if you can't govern yourself, and if you're too stupid, and if you're too stupid to survive, then you should fucking die. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the people that fucking can't take care of themselves. It's hard enough when you can. Because you gotta fucking pay for everybody else. So yeah, fuck that. I have no fucking pity or compassion for anybody that's not willing to fucking step up and make their own fucking way. You had all the opportunities that I fucking had. Like, unless you have no arms and no legs, then shut the fuck up. We even know a guy with no arms and no legs. He lives down the street from us, and he actually has a hot girlfriend. And not only does he have kids, but he has grandkids too. Not from her, from his last girlfriend. And the one before that, and the one before that. And he doesn't complain about shit. So if Richard's not complaining, then you don't have any fucking right to complain. Just go and fucking do it. So yeah, so I hate all these fucking people, obviously. I think they're fucking trash, and I think they're all the fucking same. So I digress now. The other thing too, like when you're starting out, you have to change. Well, most likely. I mean, you might not, but you have to become a minimalist. And your lifestyle now, you have to accept and understand that your lifestyle that brought you to the point of deciding to start your own business is fundamentally wrong. Because it has you working for other people. So for whatever reason, usually plural reasons, like you're doing a lot of stuff wrong, which is why you're stuck working for someone else. So you want to fucking step up and go out on your own and see if you can survive. And you have to change a couple of things about the way you think first and foremost. I think this is more important than, buying things on credit or getting equipment that, like I said, you don't have the demand for. I think it's more important to condition yourself to go the opposite route. It's not how much you know, but it's how much you can do with the little that you know. So you want to adopt a kind of minimalistic fucking mindset, and you want to cut out all unnecessary expenses, and you want to cut out all unnecessary interactions, and you want to cut out all unnecessary time wasting. Because honestly, and I know you have your safety blankets and your comfort zone, and the whole reason you stay at your fucking job for so long was because it provides you what you think is a security blanket, and you get to be comfortable, and you get to come home and watch fucking The Office for 4 hours, or Friends, or fucking whatever. But when you're trying to start your business and the phone is not ringing, ask yourself, can you honestly afford to sit on your ass and watch reruns of Seinfeld all fucking day? When you should be trying to find ways to fucking get your business off the ground or keep your business rolling, even if it's going door to door, knocking on doors, introducing yourself. Honestly, are you willing to do that? No, then you're not willing to, work hard enough. And it should be simple, how far are you willing to go? There should be no limits. There should be no limits to what you're willing to do, to get your business off the ground and to keep it going. That's the only thing that matters. So if you understand this, and if you have this mindset, then you're going to be okay. Because even if this business doesn't work, then the next one might, and the next one might. But that's how it has to be. It has to be all in. And, I didn't know that this video was going to be about do's and don'ts of this stuff, but that's kind of the direction that it took. So, whatever that's at. I guess I'm gonna talk more on the subject because one thing I take for granted is that I think that I've always thought this on YouTube, like mistakenly, but I feel like I always assume that the people watching my content are just like me. And some of them are. Some of you guys are, but some of you guys are not. Some of you guys, as much of a fucking loser as I am, some of you guys would like to get to this level because you feel like you're even more stuck than I was 5 years ago before I started. And I mean, that's how I started my channel. My channel was and is, it's just about my life and what I've been going through, or what I'm doing at the time, I should say. Because what I'm going through makes it sound like, woe is me, and that's not the case. We're actually fucking killing it right now. So, but it's been like this ever since we started out. That was like the defining moment of our rebirth, I guess. So, if you've watched this journey, like, thanks for being a part of it, and know that you can do the same thing also. All the info it's there. The blueprints are all there. And I'm not really saying anything new. I'm saying things that other people have said. I'm just saying it in my own words. And I think also the business stuff, like a lot of the stuff that I want to talk about, like a lot of people don't mention. Like people will say, for instance, that, to run a business, what you need is a positive attitude, and you need to kiss the customer's ass and just wake up with a smile and you'll be fine. And it's not like that. There's a fucking really ugly side to it, and that's the cost of learning how things work, as opposed to just looking at the clock and thinking, what a pretty clock, or what a pretty car. It's actually like going under the hood and trying to fix things when they don't work. And you see what an ugly piece of shit you bought. It's covered in grease and oil, and it doesn't look like it does in the fucking Haynes manual or whatever. And not only that, like, so much of the fucking challenge that you face as an entrepreneur is indirect. So as if the job isn't hard enough, like, you get attacked literally from all sides. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your landlord, your immediate colleagues, let's say, if you're trying to leave your job, but almost from everybody. And almost everybody is going to try to hold you back in one way or another, unless they've already been where you're trying to go. And I don't mean that they quit. I mean, unless they've already started a business and they're successfully running that business, and they're like, oh, like, don't give up because I was there too, and you're going to get there. You're doing the right thing. That's cool. But if someone tells you this and they're not where you are, they're doing, like, they're a fucking mailman or some shit, or they're doing the same dead-end job that you were stuck at, then don't fucking listen to them because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's my next point. Most people that you hung out with your entire life up to this point, your defining moment, are going to be no good for you. Because look where it fucking got you. And I'm not saying that you have to rely on other people to carry you places, but I'm saying that the company you keep will fucking hold you back from becoming what you're supposed to become. Now, if you think like, well, these are my people, I'd rather be with them than fucking ascend, then you're not going to ascend. Keep hanging around with your fucking dipshit friends and, working your stupid fucking job. But if you want to go where you're supposed to go, then you have to accept that most of these people will not be coming with you. And it's not for lack of being invited. You're going to learn this too. Because at first you're going to invite all your friends along for the ride. It's like getting your driver's license at first. You want to drive everybody everywhere. And you realize they're just a bunch of ungrateful fucks and they're never going to give you the fucking lift back. So what's the point? Why not just take your fucking car that you worked really hard to fucking buy with your hard-earned fucking money and drive where you want to go by yourself, or with with whoever you want, not just with everybody because you have to. So it's like that. And a lot of people too, they're going to see you man up and take the plunge and jump or whatever, and quit your job and decide to go all in into your little business venture. And it's just going to remind them of their own inadequacies about why they're not doing something like that. And they're going to criticize you because it's easier to tear you down than to realize that their entire life so far has been just a lie. think about it. Making money is hard, guys. Like, most people don't have any skill or talent that can make them money. And I don't, working for someone else, it's, again, unless you're in demand, like, you fall into this category too. It's just a game of fucking musical chairs that you're playing. And if this company fucking went under, then you will be fucked. And then people compromise all their principles and all their morals, for the fucking hand that fucking feeds them and clothes them and shelters them and promises them benefits. Just like a cow. Just like fucking cattle. They get shelter and irrigation and food too. Great. Like, what's the fucking difference? Like, I would rather live in my own world and, be the only person that dictates my destiny than, be part of some fucking giant fucking machine that I don't give a fuck about, and that just, quite frankly, is feeding a beast that's eating me. So I got tired too. I got really tired of making money for other people. And I thought I would like to cut out the middleman of this giant, enormous company that I'm working for. And I would like to keep all the money since I'm the one doing all the fucking work. So if you're like me, and you think this too, then it's probably true. And go do it. Go fucking prove to them. Prove to everybody, how fucking awesome you are. But, if you don't feel like you're doing all the work, then you're probably not. Actually, even if you feel like you do, I can't tell you if it's true or not. I just knew in my case it was true. And when I finally, broke free of my restraints, so to speak, I learned more that first summer working for myself than every other summer leading up to that in my entire life. And I would trade the previous 35 years for the last 5, like any day, because I didn't know shit like before now, and I was just going, kind of like from job to job, regardless of how long it lasted, until I found one that I thought would take care of me. And I went through all the motions that they tell you to go through, but, something was amiss. Like, why? What's the point? What's the point of doing all this shit if all it is to fucking have a chance of being slightly ahead of the other rats in the rat race? Like, why? What's the fucking point? And, so this leads you to think outside the box. And once you start thinking outside the box or outside the cage, why would you want to go back in? So more on that later in another video. I was thinking about that a lot lately too. But yeah, and I said you have to change your mindset. You do. You're not entitled to anything. And you don't deserve anything. And you're lucky if you can make anything. So keep that mindset. Keep the mindset that every day is a gift and every job is a fucking gift. And it's a fucking opportunity. And, yeah, but you need to get paid this amount every week just for showing up somewhere. Well, then, again, keep being a fucking elementary school teacher or whatever the fuck you do. Some low-grade fucking bullshit. And, yeah, if I offend you, good, fucking unsub. People always do anyway. And this channel is always, like I said, it's been about my life and my unfiltered thoughts. And I'm not fucking going to apologize to anybody unless I feel that I'm wrong. And, if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. That's all. So, I'll leave you. No, I'm not going to leave you. I got like an hour. I got like a little over a minute left. I could talk for the rest of the minute, no problem. But, yeah, if you teach yourself to get by with less, and that's the first lesson, and you realize that it's not as expensive as you thought to live, and you can actually maintain a decent, comfortable standard of living within your own means, and it's like the old adage, waste not, want not. And you're not getting paid all this extra money that you feel that you have to spend every week, and you realize, like I said, how little it actually takes to live comfortably. And then when you start making money from your own business, which you will, if you keep at it, you absolutely will. Might not be in the time frame that you see, or that you would like, or that you would choose, but, it'll absolutely take off if you keep at it and you don't do anything retarded. And again, you can actually start buying stuff like the chipper. We'll get into that later. I'll do a fucking gear flex in the next couple of videos. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to upload the GoPro footage from this job too. And I hope you have a fucking awesome weekend. Okay, peace out. Bye.